So I want you to imagine, just for a second, that you're building an entire digital storefront for your business.
Right, like starting completely from scratch.
Yeah, exactly. You pour your absolute heart into it. You arrange the digital shelves. You build up this really loyal customer base who knows exactly where to find their favorite item.
You've got the whole operational flow dialed
The
in.
whole 9 yards. You
Yeah.
set up the cash register. You're profitable. You're comfortable. And then one random Tuesday, the landlord just walks in
Just out of nowhere.
out of nowhere, taps a clipboard, and says, "Yeah, so we are tearing down the building."
Which is just a complete nightmare.
Oh, but it gets worse because here is the absolute kicker. They tell you that you can't even take your own blueprints with you when you leave.
Wow.
Yeah. The layout, the customer records, all of it, it just stays locked in the building when the wrecking ball hits. You have to start completely over.
I mean, it sounds like this surreal, sort of dystopian small business nightmare. You would really think there'd be laws against it.
You really would. But, and this is the crazy part, in the digital world, this exact scenario is actually playing out right in front of us. Like right now, impacting hundreds of thousands of people.
And that is exactly the mission of today's deep dive. We are looking at a massive upcoming digital migration, one that is basically about to hit the global restaurant industry like a total freight train.
A very fast-moving freight train.
Seriously. Specifically, we're talking about the forced exodus from a platform called GloriaFood over to something called self-hosted ordering systems.
Right.
We're going to explore the underlying mechanics of how you actually take back control of your own data. And we're going to unpack this crucial 7-step escape plan before a looming tech shutdown just wipes the slate clean for over 100,000 businesses.
It's a huge deal.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's unpack this because to fully grasp the solution here, I feel like we have to really look at the sheer panic of the problem first.
Yeah, I mean, the panic is entirely driven by the timeline. If you look at the landscape of online food ordering, GloriaFood has been this colossal player for years. They were basically everywhere, right?
Exactly. It was the digital backbone for mom-and-pop shops, mid-sized chains, you name it. But back in 2021, the tech giant Oracle acquired GloriaFood.
Okay.
The idea was to integrate it into their much larger restaurant technology portfolio. And for a couple of years, the status quo was kind of maintained. Nothing really changed.
People probably thought it was fine.
Right. But recently, Oracle put GloriaFood into what the software industry calls maintenance mode.
Which, that's essentially tech speak for hospice care, right?
Yeah, that's a pretty accurate way to put it.
Like, they stop adding features, they close off new registrations, and they basically just keep the lights on until they decide to pull the plug entirely.
Precisely. They aren't offering any sort of replacement product. And we now have this definitive doomsday clock ticking down.
The hard shutdown date.
Yes, April 30, 2027. That is the hard shutdown date. When that clock strikes 0, the servers turn off. Period.
I mean, April 2027 might sound like it's a comfortable distance away if you're, sitting in a corporate office somewhere.
Right, sounds like you have plenty of time.
But in the hospitality industry, where your margins are razor thin, staff turnover is crazy high, and a restaurant owner's free time is virtually non-existent.
Oh, in that world, 2027 is practically tomorrow.
Exactly. And the collateral damage here is just staggering. We are talking about more than 123,000 restaurants globally.
It's massive.
We're talking the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, Latin America. On that April morning, their ordering pages, their QR code menus on the tables, all their point-of-sale integrations, the reservation apps, they will literally all simply cease to exist.
And that brings us to the mechanical failure in the system that truly amplifies this whole crisis.
The blueprints part of the analogy.
Exactly. When those servers go dark, the restaurants don't get to take their digital belongings with them.
Which is insane.
Because the platform was built as this closed ecosystem, there will be no universal data export tool available when the shutdown actually happens.
I have to say, that is the one detail that legitimately made my jaw drop. Going back to our analogy, it's exactly like renting this fully furnished apartment, and when the landlord decides to sell the building, you realize you don't even own the plates in the cupboards.
Yeah, you've been serving your own customers on someone else's plates for years without realizing it.
What's fascinating here is...
Wait, no, go ahead.
What's fascinating here is how perfectly this exposes the inherent vulnerability of the software as a service model, right? The SaaS model.
Oh, totally.
This is the trap businesses in almost every single sector fall into. When you rely entirely on a third-party provider for your core operational infrastructure, You are trading control for convenience.
Every single time.
You pay your monthly subscription or, maybe a 15 to 30% commission on every single transaction. And in exchange, you don't have to worry about servers or writing code or doing security updates.
But the hidden cost of that convenience is always ownership.
Exactly. You don't own the database. You don't own the interface.
You just rent the space. Right. So when the parent company decides to pivot their business strategy, your business is instantly thrown into an existential emergency. You lose your customer email lists for marketing.
Oh, that's brutal.
You lose the historical data that tells you, hey, you need to order extra mozzarella on rainy Tuesdays.
Because it just vanishes.
It all just vanishes into the ether.
Yeah.
Because the fundamental architecture of SaaS isn't designed for you to leave.
So if I'm one of these 123,000 restaurant owners, my immediate panic-induced instinct is probably just to go online, Google alternative online ordering systems, and jump ship to another SaaS provider.
Which is what a lot of people will try to do.
Right. Just find another company with a slick website, sign a new contract, pay them their 20% cut, and get back to making food.
Because it feels like the fastest fix.
But if the core problem is that we don't own the building, moving into another rented apartment just resets the countdown clock. We're just sitting there waiting for the next tech landlord to get acquired or go bankrupt.
Which is exactly why there is this massive accelerating movement toward a totally different architecture, something called self-hosted ordering.
Okay, yes, let's talk about this.
This is the alternative that actually solves that root vulnerability.
So let's break down the actual mechanics of that, because to be honest, the phrase self-hosted sounds inherently really complex.
It sounds intimidating, for sure.
It sounds like you need a giant blinking server rack humming in the back office right next to the deep fryer.
Right, like you need an IT degree just to sell a burger.
But it's not quite that physical anymore. The concept of ownership is the same, though. A self-hosted system just means the software lives on a cloud server that the restaurant leases directly.
Okay, leasing it directly, so they bypass the provider.
Exactly. And it's usually for an incredibly low overhead. We're talking something like $5 to $25 a month.
Wait, really? Just $5 to $25 a month?
Yeah, it's remarkably cheap. Because the restaurant controls the hosting environment, they own the database entirely.
Nobody can take it away.
Yeah.
There is zero risk of a third-party shutdown because nobody else holds the administrative keys. And most importantly, from a financial perspective, because you own the digital storefront, you aren't paying a middleman a commission on your own sales.
I mean, just to put that in perspective for a second, $25 a month to run the server yourself versus giving up maybe a third of your revenue on every single delivery order to an app or a SaaS platform.
It's night and day.
Over the course of a year, that is literally the difference between surviving and expanding your business.
It is a massive financial pivot. Now, a very common approach to making this work involves utilizing open source software. A prime example that keeps coming up in all these migration discussions is a platform called Enatega.
Okay, let's pause and translate open source for a non-technical audience, because in a business context, that term gets thrown around a lot, but I think it confuses people.
Sure. Think of open source software like a master recipe that has been published for anyone to use and modify.
Okay, I like that.
Instead of software being a locked black box where only the original creators can see or change the code, open source code is public. You can take that master recipe, bring it into your own kitchen, or in this case, your own cloud server, and tweak it to your exact specifications.
So it's totally yours to mess with.
Exactly. Platforms like Enatega operate on a one-time license model. You buy the master recipe once, and you never pay per order commissions ever again. It even includes the frameworks for customer apps, driver delivery apps, and the kitchen management screens.
Okay, I have to push back here, though. Wait, a restaurant owner makes food, not software?
Fair point.
I'm imagining a chef who has spent the last 10 hours perfectly calibrating the temperature of a pizza oven. That chef does not write code.
No, definitely not.
They manage food costs, they schedule dishwashers, they deal with health inspectors. Even if they have the master recipe for the software telling a busy restaurant manager to, go spin up a cloud server and configure an open source database, that sounds like an absolute disaster waiting to happen.
That is an entirely valid barrier to entry. And honestly, it's the main reason people stay trapped in the SaaS model in the first place. Setup requires friction.
A lot of friction.
But the modern self-hosted ecosystem has evolved to bridge that exact gap. If a business owner has zero technical skills, they don't have to become a programmer overnight. The standard move now is to utilize a custom white label agency.
Ah, okay. Let's define white label. That essentially means hiring an agency to build and configure the software for you, but they slap your restaurant's logo on it.
Right?
So the end customer has absolutely no idea a third party was ever involved.
Right is exactly it. They are basically the ghostwriters of your software. You pay an upfront fee to a development agency to do all the heavy lifting. They configure the cloud server, they install the open source software, they customize the branding to match your restaurant perfectly, and then they just hand you the keys.
It's done for you.
Yep. The initial investment of time and money is definitely higher than just clicking sign up on a SaaS website. It might take 1 to 4 weeks to fully build out. But once it is handed over, you own it. You are buying the plates, not renting them.
Okay, that perfectly frames the why. If you want to survive the volatility of the digital landscape, you just have to own your digital real estate.
Absolutely.
But let's get into the weeds of the how. Like, how does a busy business practically untangle itself from a dying platform like GloriaFood without causing a total disruption to their cash flow?
Right, because you can't afford to just stop taking orders for a week.
Exactly. When you look at the mechanics of these digital migrations, they generally follow a pretty rigorous 7-step escape plan. And step 1 is what I can only describe as the great data heist.
I love that name for it. And it really is a heist born out of absolute necessity.
Oh.
Step 1 is extracting your data before the old system shuts down for good. But because we've already established that Oracle isn't providing a neat little export all button, this isn't a simple automated transfer.
Here's where it gets really interesting, and honestly a little horrifying. Because databases are structured differently, you can't just easily copy-paste a relational database if the host company actively blocks you from doing it.
You're totally locked out of the back end.
So what is the actual on-the-ground reality for a restaurant manager who is just trying to save their own menu? They literally have to sit in front of a laptop and take hundreds of manual screenshots.
It sounds completely archaic, doesn't it?
It's wild.
We are talking about late 2020s digital commerce, and the primary backup method is taking JPEGs of your own computer screen.
Unbelievable.
But you have to capture everything. The base prices of your items, the incredibly complex modifier matrices.
Oh man, the modifiers.
Right? Like imagine a pizza where the customer can choose half pepperoni, half mushroom, with a gluten-free crust upcharge, but only on large sizes.
That's so much data.
You have to screenshot your delivery zone maps, your minimum order requirements, your entire customer database if you can even view it.
It is agonizing to even think about doing that. But I guess it perfectly illustrates your earlier point. That manual labor, literally spending your Sunday night building spreadsheets out of screenshots, that is the exact tangible penalty for not owning your data architecture from day one.
It's the ultimate reality check.
Your own information is held hostage by their interface.
Exactly. It's grueling, but it is the foundational step. You just have to do it. And once you have all that raw data secured in a folder on your desktop, you move to step 2, which is choosing your new platform.
Right.
Whether that's an open source framework like Enatega or hiring that white label agency we discussed. Which naturally brings us to the physical foundation of the new system, which is step 3, setting up the hosting and the domain.
This is where it starts to feel real, I think. You lease that $25 a month cloud server, and you have to connect a web address to it. Now, usually, restaurants will set up what's called a subdomain for this.
Yeah, that's standard.
So instead of just yourrestaurant.com, the ordering system lives at, like, order.yourrestaurant.com.
And the architecture of a subdomain is really important to understand here. When you use a third-party delivery app, you are essentially sending your customers to a massive, chaotic food court where your competitors are literally waving signs right next to your table. You go to deliverayapp.com, your restaurant.
Yeah, and they're constantly seeing ads for the burger joint down the street.
Exactly. But a subdomain keeps the customer entirely inside your own digital ecosystem.
It's like building an annex or a dedicated drive-through window right onto the side of your existing digital building. They never leave your actual property.
Exactly. You maintain total brand authority from start to finish. But of course, an empty building doesn't generate any revenue. So once the domain is live, you enter the second major phase of the migration, the parallel launch.
Right, because I have to assume the single biggest fear any business owner has is dropping the ball during the transition. You have this folder full of chaotic screenshots. That's just lumber. It isn't a house yet.
Not even close.
You can't just shut off GloriaFood on a Tuesday and just pray the new server works flawlessly on a Wednesday.
No, that would be incredibly reckless. And that is why step 4 is the meticulous reconstruction phase. You take those spreadsheets you made, and you manually rebuild the menu logic in the new self-hosted platform. But there is a silver lining to this manual labor.
Oh, what's the upside?
Because you are upgrading to a modern system, you often unlock structural capabilities you never even had before.
Like what kind of capabilities?
Delivery logistics are a great example of this. On older, more rigid platforms, you might only be able to draw a simple circle around your restaurant on a map and charge a flat delivery fee for anyone inside it.
Right, like a 5-mile radius, $3.
Yeah. But modern self-hosted tools integrate with advanced mapping APIs. So while you are rebuilding everything, you can suddenly create hyper-specific custom delivery polygons.
Oh, wow.
You can charge dynamic delivery fees based on exact driving distance rather than just a straight line. You are essentially upgrading the engine while you rebuild the car.
Okay, so the menu looks great, the delivery zones are hyper accurate, but none of that matters if the money doesn't actually move.
Very true.
Which brings us to step 5, connecting the payment gateways. We're talking about linking up Stripe or PayPal or whatever merchant processor you use. And this requires really aggressive testing because this is where the micro crises happen, right?
This is absolutely the most critical technical bottleneck. Moving money online relies on something called webhooks.
Okay, what are webhooks exactly?
Yeah, they're basically instant digital messages
Yeah.
between the bank, the payment processor, and your server. It's how they talk to each other. You have to run dozens of test transactions because you have to see what happens when things actually fail.
Right, like what if a customer's credit card declines, but a tiny internet hiccup means the server doesn't get the failure message?
Exactly.
Does the ticket printer in the kitchen still print the order?
Right.
You could end up cooking a $50 meal that was never actually paid for.
Precisely. Or, conversely, the payment clears perfectly, but the receipt printer runs out of paper and misses the API call from the server. So the kitchen never even knows the order exists. You have to stress test the physical reality of the digital code. And you do that by moving into step 6, which is running both systems simultaneously.
I love the mechanics of this step. It's like building a brand new state-of-the-art highway bridge right next to the old crumbling one. You keep the daily commuter traffic flowing safely on the old bridge while you let a few carefully monitored test vehicles drive across the new ones.
It's the smartest way to do it.
You literally do not bring out the dynamite for the old bridge until you are absolutely certain the new steel can handle the weight.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this dual system phase is entirely about the psychology of customer trust. In the digital age, consumer friction is the ultimate enemy of revenue.
Oh, totally. One glitch and they're gone.
Exactly.
Huh.
If a loyal customer tries to order their usual Friday night dinner and your new system glitches, they don't patiently wait for you to fix your code.
No way.
You just open a different app, order from your competitor, and they might honestly never come back.
So how do you manage that transition invisibly so the customer doesn't even know there's a risk?
You utilize a ghost system. You leave GloriaFood completely active for the general public, business as usual, but you take the new order.yourrestaurant.com link and you give it exclusively to a small, hand-picked beta testing group.
Ah, I see.
Maybe it's just your own staff placing their break time meals. Or maybe you email it to 10 of your most forgiving, loyal regulars with a sweet discount code to get them to use it.
And you just watch it like a hawk?
Yes.
You verify the money actually hits the Stripe account. You verify the delivery driver gets the ping on their phone. You ensure the kitchen doesn't have a collective meltdown because the new ticket formatting is confusing to read during the Friday dinner rush.
Exactly. You are verifying operational harmony. And once that beta test flows perfectly for a week or two without a hitch, you have reached the finish line. Step 7, the final launch. You are fully confident. So now you actually alter the infrastructure of the internet to point to your new home.
And that is all about DNS redirection, right? Like changing the street signs of the web.
Yes, exactly. You go into your website builder and swap out the Order Now button links. You go into your Google business profile, your Facebook page, your Instagram bio, and you change the destination URLs.
Even the physical stuff too, right?
Right. You physically walk through your dining room and slap new stickers right over the old QR codes on the tables.
But you still don't delete the GloriaFood account on day one, do you? Just to be safe.
No. You let it sit there quietly as a last resort backup, just in case an old customer has an outdated link bookmarked or something. But functionally, every single new piece of digital traffic is being routed to your new self-hosted system.
And just like that, you have successfully pulled off the heist. You have taken a forced migration, a literal doomsday clock ticking down to 2027, and you transformed it into a massive strategic upgrade for your business.
You're in a much better position than you started.
You own your customer data, you completely control your brand's digital environment, and you are no longer bleeding away a percentage of your hard work to a third-party software landlord.
It's a huge win.
So what does this all mean? Look, whether you are running a bustling local pizza place or you are just a regular person who relies on digital tools every single day, this entire saga is a massive flashing warning sign about digital ownership. We are so quick to trade away control for just a tiny bit of convenience.
Because it's easy.
It's incredibly easy to just click sign up, create an account, and let a massive tech company handle the heavy lifting. But that convenience always comes with a hidden cost. And when the corporation providing that convenience decides to pivot, or they get bought out, or they simply shut off the servers, you are the one left standing in the cold without your own blueprints.
Completely exposed.
Taking back that control isn't some magic trick. It requires rolling up your sleeves, dealing with the friction, taking the manual screenshots, rebuilding the infrastructure, and doing the grueling work required to actually own your piece of the internet.
It is a profoundly important lesson in digital sovereignty. And honestly, it leaves us with a rather uncomfortable question to consider before we go. We've spent this entire time talking about restaurants escaping a dying corporate platform. But I encourage you to look closely at the digital tools you rely on to run your own life.
Oh, that's a scary thought.
Think about your primary email account. Think about the cloud storage where you keep 10 years of precious family photos. Think about the platform that hosts your professional portfolio or even your small business accounting. If the massive tech company behind your most vital daily tool announced a shutdown tomorrow, and they explicitly told you there was no easy way to export your data, how many manual screenshots would it take for you to rebuild your digital life?
It is a genuinely terrifying thought. Are you actually holding the blueprints to your own life, or did you accidentally leave them locked in the landlord's office? Keep that in the back of your mind the next time you blindly click accept terms and conditions. Until next time, keep digging.